Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and attention coach, 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒. I've been doing this for a really long time. I think on Attention Talk Radio, I've got like 650 episodes, and on this video channel, I think I got like 400 videos. As you get into ADHD, you get into things a little bit deeper, and today I've got what I think is a fun topic. Have you ever noticed that people don't question their feelings? I feel. When they say I feel, they don't want to question it. If nobody really questions their feeling, then you have to sit there and go, do you ever question your feelings? Do you? You might be surprised. I think you probably don't very much. In other videos, I've talked about emotions being a reflexive reaction to something, and a feeling being the physical manifestation of an emotion. I feel. Okay, well, if you feel, right, that's an emotion. I feel pressure. Pressure is an emotion. I'm feeling that pressure. I feel threatened, right? I feel like I'm emotional. I'm going to die. Where I'm going with this is a lot of times when we've talked about this is when you're feeling, you're skipping over the thinking process. We've had lots of videos on this. Fear, forget everything and run. Thinking is difficult. That's why people judge. An older reaction is an overreaction. The whole point really is to highlight this. And so feelings actually are kind of important. They're very important evolutionary. Like, when you're a kid, you learn stuff like maybe that's a hot stove, or not to stick my finger in a light socket. And you might see something that seems very similar to that experience, and I feel like that would be bad for me. That's a good feeling. But all too often, people with ADHD, as they grow up, they become too reliant on the feeling, and their feelings betray you. Like, I feel like that person doesn't like me. Well, if you step back and maybe think about it, you might be surprised analytically that you're misinterpreting it. A big issue with people with ADHD is sometimes other people will come to you in peace. They're coming there to help you, and they may even have really good things, helpful ideas for you. But it feels like they're criticizing you. And you don't question your feeling. Are they criticizing me? To say, hey, are they really here to help me? You have a tendency to kind of fight back. Where's my point in all this? Well, people with ADHD, some of you struggle more with emotional self-regulation than others. If you find yourself saying, I feel, I think you should pause and think, I'm not actually thinking. I'm emoting. I'm jumping to conclusions. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying your feelings sometimes aren't right, but they betray you probably, I'm going to say 50% of the time. But you realize is that when you feel, you skip over the analytical thinking part. You're not looking at situational variability. Like, this situation could be different from maybe one that I'm thinking it has been in the past. Like, for example, maybe you failed the algebra test, every time for the last 12 times, but maybe you got a coach and I helped you learn how you learn, and you realize that you're a very auditory learner, a verbal learner, and you've been studying in silence through the book, and now you study for the test in a very different way. Well, the circumstances are different. You might feel like you're going to do bad on the test, but you go, wait a second, why might I feel that way? Well, I've completely changed the way I'm studied for the test. Why would I feel that way? Maybe this is the trick. That's just a simple example of what's going on. What can this do for you? Because people like me tip tricks and strategies. If you just go off of your feelings all the time and your feelings are misguided, you see how you're going in the wrong direction. At some point in time, you've got to become self-aware and question your feelings in order to override them. This is hard stuff, but this is the type of stuff that can really be a game changer for those with ADHD. So if you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. We do intense stuff like this, a lot of self-awareness, but we also talk about root causes and other types of things related to ADHD and executive function. If you're an existing subscriber or listener, please, what do you think about this? Do you notice that you never question your feelings and that others people don't? And what's the value if you begin to question your feelings and say, maybe they betrayed me, and think about how you could work past them, and like how maybe that person is coming and helping. You could latch on to that person who wants to help you, even though it feels kind of bad, and actually take advantage of that. Also out there, we do this because we're trying to help you guys out there. We certainly appreciate support of our channel, so you hit the thanks button. We really appreciate it. With that, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.